Gourmet Guitars, the best luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.
This is one of the graphite topped braces. In this case, normally on an acoustic guitar, the back strip is cut through to glue the braces in, but because we don't want to lose the integrity of the graphite here, we're notching over for these. But this makes for an incredibly stiff and lightweight brace. And actually, when you get it glued to the back and you have a surface here, it gets even stronger. It's quite amazing. It really is. This stuff is, it's new age stuff here. What we're trying to do with these is sort of combine the best of both worlds, the traditional wood and graphite, and get the strength and the stiffness and the stability of the graphite without losing the sound of the wood. I think that other instrument designs have taken the whole thing maybe a little bit too far. You can push too far into the high-tech stiff parts thing. I mean, I did that when we first started making the graphite necks, and there were a lot of comments that came back that the instruments were on the sterile sounding side. And so I'm trying to find a balance between the advantages of the technology and the advantages of more traditional materials. That's the whole thing of R&D. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But the other thing is, with research and development, it is really easy to totally fall in love with your own ideas and not to recognize when they don't work. And I try to keep an open mind to my own failures as a designer. And some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And just because you've put 3 years into an idea doesn't mean it works. It's like the zero fret thing. I mean, we used to do the zero frets on the Model 1 guitars. Ultimately, there's theoretical advantages to it, and ultimately, I got tired of explaining it, and so so sometimes it's just easier to go, oh God, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Let's just do something that's normal. It is very dangerous to just out of hand dismiss tradition. On the other hand, there's nothing wrong with examining tradition and bringing in relatively recent knowledge. I think that the guitar has evolved as a comfortable instrument, and therefore the tradition of its shape has validity. I think that the materials that have evolved for use in luthiery and violin making and guitar making have evolved because they worked, you know, spruce tops, cedar tops, and so on. The interesting thing is you then look at the scientific data on stiffness to weight ratio, resonance, density, and all that kind of thing, and you start being able to look at these materials like spruce and go, oh, well, of course it is a desired wood for acoustic guitar tops. It's got the right stiffness to weight. It's got the right velocity of sound through it. It's got all these things. Yeah, I mean, you start looking at it and you examine these different materials and they make sense. You also get to a point where if you go too far astray, you run up against the definition of the instrument. Violin is a good example of this, where the definition of the instrument has gotten so narrow that you can't push much beyond that without dooming yourself financially. I mean, there's not many people that can make a modern take on a violin and get away with it. And so you wind up with the ideal in the violin world being to be able to make an instrument that looks 300 years old and sounds like it too. And there is a defined, a relatively narrow defined sonic signature. We have a lot more latitude in guitars, but still, if you look at what people buy, the bulk of acoustic guitars, that is real acoustic guitars that are being sold now, were designed in the 1930s, and electric guitars that were designed in the 1950s. So, I tend to want to look at those issues and see what is it about those designs that is so good, it works so well, and yet how can I bring what I know as a modern guitar builder into it as well. Ultimately, anything that gets in between the musician and the listener is a problem. I would like the clearest path from the musician's brain to the listener's brain. And so an instrument has to almost disappear in that. And the best nights of music, live music, all the gear disappears. And it's one heart to another, one mind to another.
Rick Turner is a born innovator. Not many luthiers can say that they helped write rock history in the 1970s and 80s, and are still on the cutting edge of contemporary sound innovation. There is a tangible flow of creative energy pulsing through the veins of Rick Turner and Renaissance guitars. See what happens when a man who has memorized the rulebook just throws it away.
Gourmet Guitars, the best luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.